Good evening, good morning, good day, good night, wherever you're listening to, whatever time it is. It's another episode of No Qualifications podcast. I'm Kev. Join with me. It's the founding member of the Blue Healers Australia Facebook page. It's Wednesday night here in the Bunting household. It's bin night, and it can only mean one thing. It's recording night. And it's Kizza who's joined me. Hey mate, how are you? How's the Facebook page going?
Well, I also run a Maggie Doyle fan page as well.
Maggie.
I'll never get over that when she died.
No, God, just rips your heart out still thinking of it.
I don't want to talk about it.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Mate, we'll do a bit of housekeeping, hey, first and foremost. We've if you sort of follow us on our socials, we had the biggest and best download numbers in the history of the podcast. Last week we actually had some. It surprised me. I won't go into the numbers. I don't want to embarrass the other podcasts, to be honest, but who struggle every week to get just a few people.
I don't want to flare Joe Rogan's anxieties up, but
no,
we're coming.
We're coming for him. So it's no. I've just got to say thanks again to everyone because it's awesome. We've been getting some really good feedback. I mean, we do try our best. It may look like an absolute shambles and we've got no idea what we're doing, which is very true. Yeah. But I think we cover it pretty well with some fancy editing, a bit of sound
somehow
effects.
Get it from here onto iTunes, and that's all that counts.
I've still got no idea. Yeah. I've got no idea how that even happened. But no, it was awesome. We as I said, look, if you're listening, if you could go to our iTunes, give us a review. 5 stars would be ideal. I think last week we said 5 stars or fuck off. That still stands.
Look at us now. We've got a bit of a following.
Yeah, we're telling you what to do. This is a cult. Right, we're all going to wear white. Yeah. Nothing racist. No, if you could give us a bit of a review, because it does help us bump up the charts and become, more popular and all that sort of jazz. And then, of course, if you could subscribe to our YouTube as well, if you get stuck into YouTube every now and then where you're hiding in the toilet from your children or whatever you're doing. I think I've given something away there, actually, what I do.
You're in big trouble with Jesse.
Yeah, that's right. Would be very good. But, yeah, mate, how's your week been, bud?
Very good. I did my civic duty of voting.
Yeah.
Did you do it?
I actually did it a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, I kept driving past the pre-poll. I was like, I'll do it tomorrow. Yep. And then I ended up, it's Saturday morning and I got a fight with those morons.
Yeah, I hate voting with an absolute passion. Yeah. Like, it gives me energy to hate it so much.
Oh, really?
Yep.
You don't even want the sausage sandwich?
Nope.
Yeah, right.
No, I'll go to Bunnings. I'll go to the Church of Bunnings and have a sausage
and not
singer.
have to put up with those people handing out flyers.
Yep. I'll vote with me bloody feet, Kizza.
That's the biggest old man saying I've heard.
We did it a couple of weeks ago because obviously we've got a couple of kiddies, so it makes it a little bit difficult. But we had to get the young fella his first sort of checkup when he's a week or 2 old or whatever he is, a little hearing test and all this sort of jazz.
Oh, we just lost the anti-vaxxers.
It's all good, mate. Your crystals will do something. But
your Kundalini pathways are fine.
No, we took him to get his hearing checked and all that sort of stuff. So, all good there for those who were worried about that.
Thank God I could breathe.
But when we were there, just down the road was a bowling booth.
Yeah, right.
So I said to the wife, actually I didn't, she said to me, Kev, we're going to vote.
Okay.
Righto, far out. Okay, let's go and have a vote. But so we did it, and it was literally just stood there for 30 seconds, signed our name off, voted.
But you do, I mean, it is super efficient. You don't have to deal with the people handing out the flyers that are getting shoved in your face, literally. Like, shoved. It's like, no, thanks. It's like, no, I've already just said no thanks, and you're coming at me.
Yeah, mate, don't start me. It's like
typically someone with a green flyer.
Yeah,
wink, wink.
yeah. Very green flyer. Or very, very concerned about the environment there. Yeah. Let's print off 40,000 flyers.
That's my biggest thing.
And then when you go and jump in your car again and drive off, they're just billowing down the road into the gutters, up turtles' noses, killing them, ruining our ecosystem.
The biggest thing about voting, though, is you're going back, well, maybe not in your case, but in my case, you go back because we're still in the area where my primary school was.
Oh, okay.
So that's a bit of a time warp every couple of years when you got to go there.
Yeah. It'd be a hell of a drive for me to go back to where my primary school was just to bloody vote.
I'm here to vote. You're definitely out of area.
Yeah. Actually, I went to my primary school only maybe 4 or 5 years. Well, I say my primary school. I was across the road from my primary school at a wedding. And I remember I looked across at the field and I thought, Jesus Christ, that's a small field. And I remember thinking, oh, bloody hell, this is a big field. No way, mate. You could literally 4 or 5 steps and you were across the thing. And as a kid, you run across it and you'll just be wrecked.
It's too much.
Yeah, you're playing like, was it Red Rover or something? Remember
Oh,
that
yeah,
game?
roll over Red Rover.
Yeah.
I was playing Kiss and Chase,
Yeah.
That's what I did. That's how I rolled.
Yeah, righto, mate, with the
With
boys.
Dave, Wayne,
Yeah.
Jeff.
Yeah, that's right. And you were always just getting caught.
It was an
Kizza,
all-boys primary school.
Why are you so slow, Kizza? Oh, I don't know.
Got me again.
Kiss me, you fool.
Uh,
No, I back to like the volunteers and whatnot at those things, shoving bits of paper in your face. I really don't like it.
Yeah.
I really, really don't like it. I just want to erupt and say, what you think, you standing there, you nerd, are you going to change my opinion because some bloke Robo called me 3 weeks ago?
oh, is that infuriating?
I hate it.
Well, it's Clive Palmer here.
Yeah, get on your Clive.
The bumbling jowls.
Yeah. You know he's turning up for the sausage sizzle, don't you?
No, but there is we were talking about it earlier, and there's a specific type. There's a lot of great volunteers doing a lot of good things, but there's would you say a younger gentleman in particular that
I'd call him a fucking nerd, is what I'd call him.
is in the junior parliament, junior Labor Liberal scheme.
Yeah.
But he's about 23, 24, and he's telling he's handing out his stuff with more vigor. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, probably grew up in the church.
Yeah.
So he's got a few issues there. You know that for a fact.
Church on the list.
I'm not holding back, Kizza. I'm not holding back on this.
When we were prepping for this, you're so volatile.
It drives me mental. It really drives me mental.
I said something about my experience with voting, and Kev just erupted.
No, it does my head in because I think like especially this type of people, they think, oh, we're part of the people or we're for the people. No, you're not. You're for yourself. Number one, you're for yourself. None of these people you'd go and have a beer with.
Yeah.
Number one. And then you get these young nerds, oh, I'll vote for this person. Fuck off, dickhead. I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to walk in, draw a dick and balls on the paper, shove it in the slot, and I'm outie.
But what about the ones that are handing it out, though? When you sort of question them a little bit, you sort of say, if you did ever indulge them and say, look, okay, why? It's just like, reminds me of, it's the morning of the vote, but it's like the day before the vote, people's Facebook start erupting. Yeah. And it's like, please stop.
Yeah.
It's like your impassioned speech is bagging everything of it doesn't matter which way you go.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just like, that's the horror of social media when people, that election time, there's plenty of horrible things about it, but you scroll down and there's someone saying, if you're going to vote today, please do not vote Labor. And then the post underneath, if you're going to vote today, please don't vote Liberal, whatever. Yeah. And it's just such like, the entitlement of why. It's like, well, that suits you, but what happens if I'm not in your bracket? Or if I'm not,
heaven forbid you have a different opinion.
And then people get so... Look at us, we're already getting into it.
I know, it fires us up. It fires us, and we're not a political podcast.
This is a LOLs podcast.
Yeah, right. What else did I notice there that's LOLs? Just their general demeanour.
Yeah. You're right, though, when we've got to go through a classroom, has like a divider, and then it opens up in a massive area.
Not that divider they built last week to separate you and your missus, was it?
No, it was the blackboard like opens up, and then it's so surreal being back in the classroom.
Yeah,
the tiny like the seats and the tables all grouped together and all that, and then the sticker at the very top that had the ABCs and the lines how to do them.
They're still running that.
Oh, that's classic.
Yep.
Yeah, and it was surreal. And then I ran into an old teacher.
Oh yeah.
Who I would have been about 7, 8.
Are they still teaching?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, righto.
I was semi-young, but she's probably in the late 60s or something now.
Right,
but,
okay, yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, well, I'm 32. Okay, so it's 25 years ago. And she's still bringing up, oh, you're a bit of a rat bag.
Is she really?
Are you serious?
Jeez, get over it,
yeah,
Doris.
I don't even know if you think she would recognise her, but it was the whole... dustboard dusters on the fan thing where I turned it on highball.
Was that?
Yeah.
Oh,
okay, now I'm starting to understand. She's holding a bit of a grudge.
But if you're holding a grudge from a kid in year, would you say year 3, year 4 or something?
I was like 7 or 8, I think. Yeah, must
so
have been
around
year 2, 3, yeah, something like that.
Somewhere, yeah. But if she's still holding on to that, it might be time for a career change. Or maybe we book her into an aged care facility. She might be.
I was flattered, and then she started it on me and then told my partner, "Oh, he's a bit of a rat bag." I'm like, "Oh, Jesus." I have changed slightly.
Is he? I would never have guessed.
But yeah, that was a bit surreal. But I've done my civic duty until about a year's time. It's meant to be every 3 years.
Oh yeah, till he gets jousted.
Until someone gets knifed, and then we have to go back again.
Yeah,
and
until he gets jousted. I loved the complete sort of insincere speeches that you know the with Shorten conceding. Oh, you know, well, good on him, and we got it wrong, and this and that. And I think, righto, mate, you'll go home just cry into your pillow. Your poor wife will leave you now because she's just fed up. She's been with you forever. Right, that's failed. I'm out of here.
One of the greatest clips you can look at on the internet this week is him running.
What a Gumby.
Yeah,
what a
Gumby.
What a Gumby. This is the reason I just think with those sort of guys, it's like, mate, and even the way, like, there's the pictures of, like, them holding beers.
Yeah.
Number one, he's drinking a midi.
Yeah.
Never trust a man who drinks a midi. Never, ever. Even if you're driving, have half a schooner. Just buy a schooner. But the run was like...
It's very strange.
He was...
Just find it. You go type, I guess, Bill Shorten running. And it's the only time I've seen, Howard was famous for power walking and that sort of thing. And Abbott.
On his push bike.
Then he's just started. It's like he started this week. They're like, look, we're falling behind in some of the polls.
Yes.
Maybe you should get out there, go for a run, be one
Show
of the people.
you can run too. You're not a lizard man.
And then the advisor's like, no, Bill, come back. It's a bad idea.
He's like, no, I've got this. Left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot. He's like this scripted robot.
Yeah.
It was hilarious. Yeah, never trust a man who can't run.
Oh, it's the concession speeches and then I heard when I was watching Abbott in his concession speech, you're like, oh, geez, he's been around a while. Must be hard. He's owned that Warringah seat for such a long time. And then the advisor's like, oh well, he's going to retire on a $330,000 parliamentary pension.
Yeah, it's
like, okay,
it's nearly more than you earn a week, isn't it?
Yeah. I was just like, far. How
he'll
can
be
you
alright.
ever feel for these people sometimes? Like, they're just in it for themselves.
But that's the thing where it's like, how can they be connected? Like, here we are trying to make a bit of a go of something, doing a podcast, and we kind of, like, we genuinely try and do it for the people listening. Like, we try and think, like, even now I'm thinking, oh, this is far too political. People are going to switch this off. But, it's just a thing that happened. Of course, we're going to talk about it, and we try and sort of see the funny in it, all the, all the just the absurdities in it. But when you hear about stuff like that, you think, oh, give me a cuddle.
I just can't believe people can't see through them when they go down to a factory. It's almost patronising.
They
go down the factory and it's like, I'm one with the people.
Yeah.
No, you're not. Especially like Malcolm Turnbull, who's a squillionaire.
Yeah.
He doesn't come across the bridge. He's at Point
Papa. Point Papa.
And he's like...
Firstly, your vest is too orange and your hard hat is too white.
Too white, yeah.
I don't trust you.
Yeah.
You Poindexter.
Yeah, it's just like this. And people fall for it. I don't know how they still do these things. These, what do they call them? Like... camera opportunities or whatever.
Photo ops.
Photo ops, yeah. And it's just like, do people buy this? Surely they got to stop this soon.
It's rubbish.
It's crap.
It's rubbish bin. It's absolute rubbish bin. But
do you know who's had I've had a good week, but do you know who had a bad week? The the polls, how they you almost rely on them.
The pollsters. Yeah.
They've got it unequivocally wrong.
I've got a theory on it.
They've got huge, and they use home phones as their reference. It's like, well, who has a home phone?
I've got a theory on it, and not a theory. I just a thought on it. But a lot of the media, are more left than right. So for me, it's like, well, of course they're going to report on their own opinion. I guess of course their opinion is going to come in, even though it shouldn't be. And then when they do these interviews with people and they say to you, oh, Kizza, what do you think about X, Y, Z? You're probably going to say something that's a little bit more PC.
Yeah.
So they go, oh, okay, that's how you feel. But when you get in that the voting booth and it's just you and the paper, and you can kind of have your real, dark opinion.
The absurdly long paper, the white one that
ridiculous.
Just rides up the walls.
Yeah. Ridiculous. Yeah, what are we wallpapering this place today, are we, guys?
Jeez, don't die on me.
I'm just dying.
See what politics does? This is why we don't do politics.
I'm literally choking on words.
I've done my bit, so I'm happy.
Yeah, no, it's good on you, mate. Well, should we get stuck into today's show? We might try and bring a few more laughs now because we've gone we've gone deep into the
way off script
into the politics.
Religion and politics. What are we doing? We never talk about this.
Oh, hang on, religion. I'll get rid of that. I'll get rid of that. Get scratched off there. That was my next topic. Actually,
you definitely don't want to hear Kevin's thoughts. I heard them once and I was scarred. Kev, I've been dying to tell you something. And I thought now that we've got a podcast, an outlet for it, I'll keep it to myself. Normally I'd call you, well, Kev, this just happened.
Yeah.
Listen, and then, go about our day.
Well, mate, you've got the platform.
I've got the platform now, so I hold...
Give it to me.
No, people don't know. We don't talk to each other up until the pod, get everything out, and then never speak again.
And if we're about to, we go, oh, no, wait, I won't tell you that.
Yeah.
I'll wait. And
then we just sit there in silence.
Yeah.
So...
And kiss.
Yeah. Every now and then. So I'm... It's about work colleagues.
Yeah, okay.
And, I work with some absolute maniacs. So as you know, I don't work in a store and office as much. I'm out.
Yep.
But when I come back in, it's like observing people in the wild. And we've got these...
so they're like the Kelpie of the work industry, are they? Just
out of control is
mental.
probably not... that's probably an apt word, but put it this way. One of them farted in front of a customer. Legit farted. You know what? Oh, and okay, let's play devil's advocate.
Can I wind that back? Because obviously we're in a mainly audio medium.
Yeah.
Can we, for my benefit and the listeners, can we paint a bit of a picture maybe of how this occurred?
Well, I've come in and I got to get some stuff before I go back out on the road, and I'm talking to this other guy at work, and then it was a bit slow. I had a few minutes to kill, and I'm just sitting down, and then a customer's approached him.
Yep.
And he's gotten up. And literally, there's nothing else to paint. He's had a bit of movement and we looked at each other. Everyone's kind of like got a confuzzled look on their face. Like, and the other guys looked at me and I'm like, he did, didn't he?
Was it a sneaky? Like, it
was like an...
Or someone's left the rabbit hutch open?
It's like someone... He's like he was full and someone's poked him. He's gone, oh, hang on. Because that was the sound. But it was like involuntary. Nothing was... It was just him and talking to someone. They've just come up and said, I just need to give you this. And then it's just hear the sound. And I'm like... And I looked at the other guy and then we sort of... In that split second we've heard it. Because your ears prick up like a dog. You're like, what's that?
Yes.
And then...
Yeah, you can hear a fart a mile.
So, okay, we'll stop it there. And then he's... So what's happened is, we're like, okay, he might be crook.
Was it a male or female customer?
A female. Luckily, so he's hit the jackpot with her, but I'll tell you a bit more about her.
Yep.
So we stop it there, and we've sort of... It was like, no, sure. He's stepped on... There might be something under the floor or whatever. And then, no. And then because he's followed up with not like, oh, he's a bit crook, and oh, Jesus, or something's... sorry, excuse me, I got to go.
Yeah,
and so,
okay,
something's up here.
I'm
ever so embarrassed, or I'm a bit crook. I'm really, really sorry. I can't believe this has happened. And left. And then he's gone with this weird, like, chuckle thing of... Frogs. Like that. And I'm like, does that happen? If I was playing around with my nephew and he did a fluff, I would have been like, oh, bloody frogs, eh? And he'd be like, like, just mucking around. And then he's a grown man who's covered it up with, frogs.
What did the customer do?
Well, that's where I was going to say he's hit the jackpot. There was an awkward thing, and he's like, said that, and he's like, oh, I am terribly embarrassed. And then she's, no, it's fine. She was a bit older.
I was going to say, how old was she?
Probably 6, like a bit.
Okay,
yeah,
she's probably used to the old hubby wandering through the kitchen. Boom! Sorry, that was a good one. I pulled my finger.
James Morrison's just playing the trumpet out the back. So I had to tell you, and I just was in such disbelief that I was just like, this can't be real.
Gee, that's not real life.
This isn't real life. And I'm like, and I've just walked out of there, my head down, just shaking.
But
like,
was he?
Where am I?
Was
These
he embarrassed,
reptiles.
or was he just like, oh, this is what humans do? Apparently, they get embarrassed.
He is a tiny bit, but he's the kind of guy who just would. If I brought it up later when I come back in, and I was like talking about all the boys laughing, and he's like, what? I don't even get what you're on about. It's like he just doesn't give an F about anything, like anything at all. And
what a maniac!
Yeah, like if the customer had gone, that is disgusting, he would go, oh, get fucked. Like he just really doesn't care about anything. And so I just thought, no, that's not real life. And I've told a few mates, and they're just like, serious? That's not.
How old is he?
Oh, he'd be a bit old, maybe late 40s or something like that.
Really?
Early 50s.
He needs to get his life together.
Oh, just you.
What's going on?
Oh, just you reptile. What am I?
You reptile.
What is happening? But yeah, it's not really that exciting, but I thought I'd hold off and tell you.
That is, I tell you what, like I understand accidents happen, but to just be like, oh, bloody frogs.
Yeah, just the...
Squeaky floorboards, mate, it's concrete.
Shit's given. Yeah. No shit's given and just like...
Well, clearly.
Yeah. It's a bad choice of words.
Thank God. You wouldn't want to. You have to say the customer, sorry, I really give a shit about that, and I need to go wipe up.
I'm so sorry, man. But yeah, he just no fucks given. And
What a
just,
grub.
Like, and if you were like immature, like 12, and you were in the lounge room or something, you farted, and your mum said something, you're like, oh, frogs, it wasn't me.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, but he's a grown man. But,
wow, it's
But yeah,
it's impressive that he's even
functioning in society.
Yeah, that he's found himself at work in steady employment.
It was one of those programs, actually. I should have
Is
started
it?
that.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. Has he got his name on the back of his shirt? If lost, return to. My dog has one of those. It's got my phone number on it and a name on the front. It says Millie.
Oh, so good. But yeah.
My name's Brian.
Yeah, a bit like that.
What a weapon.
But yeah, sometimes he wanders out in the car park. We got to go get him.
Kizza, what are you doing? I'm just hosing off Brian. We've had another
It's been
incident.
an accident.
But
yeah.
I must say, I've never had the pleasure of working with or for someone like that.
I know. That's what I mean when I tell people. It's like, no, they're like, oh, really? And I told Naomi and that, and I was just like, she's like, you don't really get the lulls because people are like, that's not happening, is it? Is that happening in the real world? I'm like,
yeah.
And I was just so stunned and shocked. But yeah,
Far out. No, I've never had. Like, I've worked for. Like, I remember I had a boss who was just a classic psychopath boss that would, he just was sort of. You'd sort of go, you're not human. Like, you're a lizard man. Yeah, you're a lizard, and he would always try and like psychoanalyze you, and he was just a genuine psychopath.
Yeah.
But as for old Harry Trumpets, I haven't ever experienced such a wonderful thing.
I haven't worked with such a maniac since I worked with you.
I wasn't just crop dusting, crop dusting everywhere I walked though.
Oh, it's so good.
Kizza, I was cruising around the countryside the other day.
Cruising in my Pinto.
I was cruising around in my Hilux.
Luxy, bra.
And I was up in Newcastle actually, and I drove past what used to be an old sizzler.
Oh.
Yeah.
We were about 4 or 5 years just out of it, like the wrong time, weren't we?
Well, I remember I think I might have gone to Sizzler maybe 3 or 4 times. But I can remember every time.
Yeah?
I have just such a love affair and romance in my mind with Sizzler. And I think what it was the all-you-can-eat buffet style thing.
Yeah.
Now, wouldn't catch me dead at a buffet.
Yeah.
No thanks.
I've seen the inner workings.
No thanks. Yeah, no.
You have rose-coloured glasses as a kid. You barely see over the grill bit and where everything's kept, and you're just like, oh,
well, you've got no concept of germs either,
exactly,
have you?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But I was thinking, like, I was sort of driving up the road and I was thinking, what other things are we missing out on? Like, what else is closed and what's gone?
Well, the
Walkies
same vein as that is the Pizza Hut, all you can eat.
That's exactly what I thought. It's exactly what I thought. You'd go there, you'd pay your $20 or $30, whatever it was. Yeah. Probably $5 back in the day. And it was all you could eat. And I remember with good old Pizza Hut, I would always start with dessert.
Oh, coming in.
Soft serve. They had the squares of jelly.
Fucking the system.
Yeah. And people would look at me like, who is a maverick? Get behind him.
Yeah, so, Pizza Hut was,
yeah, jelly squares, and then I'd sprinkles on top.
Yeah.
And because everyone knows you've got a different stomach, dessert stomach to food stomach.
Oh, yeah, there's 2.
Yeah, you got 2 stomachs. Like cows have 4, which is overkill, but anyway.
Greedy.
Greedy cows. And so I'd have my ice cream, squares of jelly, sprinkles, choc chips, syrup. Maybe that's where my ice cream addiction started.
Where's the ice cream? You know how the Macca's one's always shut down?
Oh, yeah.
It's shut down. Nah, I need it.
Yeah.
Just twitching.
Maybe that bloke
hot flushes.
Maybe that bloke off Married at First Sight last year needs to get around and sort those machines out again. Remember that guy, the millionaire, but he took his wife around and he's got like empty offices.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, are you literally catfishing?
Do anything? Yeah.
It was so sus.
He had whiteboards and markers and then some plants in the corner.
Yeah.
And, that was it.
And some Think and Grow rich
Yeah,
books.
yeah.
It's like, mate, just relax.
No, the Pizza Hut, we, two mates of mine and I were sitting around like, oh, how good, and same thing, reminiscing about how good Pizza Hut was.
Yeah.
And it's,
Freshly sneezed on buffet.
Well, some 16-year-olds made it out the back.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
we just like had sort of the rose-coloured glasses you do with anything that's nostalgia, and we were like, let's find one. And we're like, okay, we looked it up. There was one.
Is it any still around?
Well, this is a couple of years ago, but there was one out like Western Sydney, like Penrith way.
Yep.
There's one further down south, maybe Wollongong area, and there happened to be one near us here.
Yep.
But it's up in I won't name it, but it's up in a northern suburb you wouldn't probably frequent.
Oh, I know that place. It's called Shithole.
Yeah. And so we're like, oh, there is. And then we kind of were so excited, and then we learnt where it was, so... Oh, maybe we'll give it a miss. But we were like, no, let's go. We got the car, went straight up there.
Blowing these for luck, mate. Roll the dice.
Don't know what we're going to get.
Yeah.
We went there, and it was like, yeah, this is just, it's like Don't Never Meet Your Heroes, like your favourite muso or sport.
Really?
Don't
paint
go.
a picture.
If there's one left out in Western Sydney or something like northern New South Wales, don't go because it ruins everything. It was just,
Really?
It felt like there was people like window liquor time, like just waiting, just sitting there.
Yep.
And there was only like one or two pizzas out there. It was like a really like horrible version of what you remembered.
Yeah,
the
right.
ice cream had the ice cream, and then no jelly and just some sprinkles. And it's like, and maybe
really?
It had the topping that you squeeze, but you would not go, even if
Turns
you were
out it was
daring,
barbecue sauce,
you
not
would-
chocolate syrup.
you would not go near this little, the pump action thing.
Yeah.
You would not touch
I bet there was a
this.
few other pump actions walking around the outside too, casing the joint out.
Yeah. It just ruined it for us. There was like a cheese pizza and a vegetarian, and then no real desserts. And it's just like, but the people there were like, I don't know, if you'd go and get a pizza, it felt like there was eyes on the back of you, just like,
Well, he's going to take my bit.
yeah, when's the next one coming out?
Yeah.
it
A
was like-
buffet, a buffet brings out a certain, like a special kind of special, doesn't it?
yeah, you pay your money, so you feel so entitled.
Oh, it's like you see, like I've obviously been to buffets, but you might go to like a seafood buffet, and people, they'll pile up 4.5 kilos of prawns on their plate,
Yeah.
because I paid me $20.
I'm getting me value.
It's like, Jesus, mate. Yeah, righto.
Have some decency.
Was this your last meal?
Have some class in
Yeah,
front of everyone.
have some. Meanwhile, they're just throwing shrimp down like a pelican. It's like, bloody hell.
Yeah, the
Finding Nemo's over in the corner.
it's not when you're a bit younger, you think. So you're saying, wait, you're saying I'm getting Chinese and then pizza next to it,
Yes.
then seafood,
Yes.
then some sort of Indian, and then and burgers.
Yep.
Whoa!
There's a
All
party in
one
my
place.
belly and everyone's invited.
Let's go. And then
Yeah,
you
yeah,
get
yeah.
there, and then you're a bit naive, and you're like, this is amazing. Now you're like, that is vile. That is gross.
Horrible. Yeah. Well, sizzler, I used to always start. This might sound really weird. I'd always start with pumpkin soup.
Yeah, right.
I remember they just
What
had
are you,
this.
80, Ethel?
I know. I was like, oh, Brian, this is nice, isn't it? We should do this more often. We should bring the children here.
Is that where you take Jess for dates? That's how you got
If
her,
she's
isn't
bloody
it?
lucky. I don't have that sort of cash laying around, mate. I don't have sizzler cash. Bloody hell. I got Macca's cash. I ain't got sizzler cash.
Family box from Macca's. Everyone gets something.
I know.
Yeah, no, Pizza Hut. As soon as you said sizzler, I was like, yeah, that. And I thought I was the same before. We're probably about 5-6 years too young to appreciate sizzler. Like we went as kids, and I remember it. There was one around us, but
When we
if
didn't
we're
have
a bit
a
older,
proper full, like,
Yeah.
remember your appetite
maybe
as
like
a...
14 or something.
Well, I was about to say, when you were like 13, 14, 15, and
Just
your
eat.
appetite, you'd
Yeah.
put everything on bread.
Yeah,
You'd
yeah.
get home, you'd cook 3 packets of 2-minute noodles, put it on bread, and your parents would go, "You'll ruin your dinner." And you're like, "I'll ruin you. Get out of the way of the fridge. I'm
Yeah.
hungry."
It's a challenge accepted.
Yeah, and it's like an hour and a half later, you've got a roast dinner that you're then putting on bread.
Yeah. And now you have a loaf of bread in your 30s and like, oh, I'm very bloated.
Yeah,
I can't get to bed.
That was a lot of starch.
Yes.
Babe, wasn't that a lot of starch? Yes, that was a lot
I
of
only
starch.
learnt the word starch in my 30s. That was never a thing. You just eat whatever and it
No,
just...
it's a modern concept.
Yeah.
They've only just started pumping starch. I think it's a conspiracy, actually. Yeah.
Oh, here he goes.
Starch,
Wind him up.
starch, carbohydrates. That's not real. I used to work with a guy actually who used to. He always wondered why he's such a fat piece of shit, and I used to say,
Wait, we work together.
"It wasn't you, mate.
Oh, okay.
You're fluffy."
Fluffy.
No, he always wondered why he's just a tubby, rotund little sausage wandering around the place. And he came into me once. He goes, "Kev, what do you do for your diet and stuff?" And I said, well, I just don't like eat until I feel sick, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm smashing ice cream every night.
Yeah.
But then I said to him as well, like, he goes, oh yeah, I just sort of, I'm really good with my diet. And I thought, well, that's lie number one. But
You're lying straight to my face.
I'll let that slide. And he goes, and I'm always active. Like I walk every day. And I thought, well, there's lie number two. He goes, I just don't know what I am. I said, well, my old lady would always say that, I'm just bigger boned, And I thought, man, I've literally never seen a fat skeleton.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
I just don't know what it is.
I started with KFC this morning, and that was brekkie.
Yeah.
So, well, ding, 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 ding.
But it was chicken. Well, that's healthy.
It's a protein.
Yeah, that's just a healthy bit of chicken. Like, nothing wrong with that. Yeah, no, it's good. But then the other thing, I was thinking was, if you sort of throw it back even further, Devon sandwiches as a kid.
Oh, yeah.
Devon sandwiches.
That was the fallback. Oh, shit, I haven't got anything for lunches.
Oh.
Devon bread sauce.
Imagine, can I get 3 kilos of Devon? The butcher will go, yeah, no worries, love. Yeah, that's 55 cents.
Yeah, Jesus
Christ. It's just a cling film wrap of salmonella and hepatitis.
If I gave log of hepatitis.
If I cut it up and gave it to my dog, she'd even go, get fucked, man. I'm not eating that.
Yeah, I'm not an animal.
Yeah. And she licks a freckle.
Yeah.
Kizza, last week we spoke about a very special guest that we were going to get to come on the show. And
goody.
I went out of my way and I got us a very special guest.
Oh, boy.
And we've spoken about him before on the podcast. And if you even ever bloody well listen to us, which I've got my doubts just quietly because we've talked a lot of shit about him, he would know that...
Is it a Kiwi scaffolder?
No, it's not. No, it's a very...
A vegan? Anti-vaxxers.
No. It's a very dear friend to me. And he's a Tinder expert, which I reckon he's going to love me calling because it'll pretend like he's got some game, which he's got none at all.
Yeah.
But I want to... I thought we'd get him on and we can fucking grill him.
Yeah, because we've been in committed relationships. We've missed this whole... Tinder boat, haven't we?
Mate.
We don't understand.
We have. So, mate, if I can introduce the very great and wonderful, it's only bloody Jimmy. Jimmy, are you on the line, mate?
Yeah, mate, I'm here.
Hi, James. Reluctantly.
Hi, Kevin, how are you?
I'm good.
Mate, thanks for joining us. Can I just start by saying, how was your day, babe?
Yeah, really good, thanks. Thanks for asking.
That's the go. Good. That's all I want to know. Don't
Can we get a roll call? Kevin?
Present.
James?
Present.
No.
He was a truanting. Yeah. Where's your note?
Well, I think if we get to know Jimmy over the course of the podcast, we'll get to know that silence wasn't anything to do with the system. That's just the vagueness that rockets around in his brain every now and then.
Yep. It takes a while for the message to actually get up to the brain, then come back down.
Yeah. The only thing is, like most messages go to the brain, then come out the mouth. Jimmy's has to go down to his feet.
Yeah.
Back up.
And then back up. But yeah, mate, thanks for joining us. It is nice to hear your lovely voice. But we thought we'd get you on because, as Kizza said, we've been in committed relationships for near on a decade for you and 7 or 8 years for me. And I know for a fact you put my personality on Tinder, no good. No good. Number one, I've got to get past the first hurdle. They have to swipe. Yeah. That's going to be a problem.
Big problem.
That's going to be a real problem. So Photoshop, I'm probably going to be the Kim K of Tinder and Photoshop the shit out of myself. And then once I get there, they'll probably just turn up and go, oh yeah, I'm not into this at all. Yeah. And then they're out of there.
They yell their safe word.
Yeah,
and
that's
their friend
right.
Picks them up.
Well, I said to Jimmy, I said to Kizza today, we're sort of doing a little bit of a rundown of what's what. I said to Kizza, my personality is like fake tan on a girl. And let me explain. And
get comfy, James. Get comfy.
And it's like, so Friday you say, okay, say it's a colleague, you say, okay, see you later, see you on Monday. And they turn up and they've got a fake tan and they've gone maybe a little bit too far with the fake tan. Whereas if maybe over the course of 4 or 5 weeks, if they just did a little bit at a time, you'd go, oh, that's cool. I understand what they're doing. I'm like that really too far fake tan over the weekend that everyone goes, oh my God, your teeth are very white. I mean, that's a positive.
Have you seen Kevin in accounts? He's bordering on blackface.
We got Al Jolson down the back.
Walking around who's like orange.
Yeah, that's right.
It's like, mate, what the hell happens? Like, he's up on the vitamin C.
Yeah,
or something.
mate, don't you have to go back to the factory and make some lollies? What are you doing? No, mate. So we're going to get you in the hot seat, and we're going to we're gonna ask you a few little questions. And now I'm looking at a sheet now. I've written down a few questions for you, but I'm sure Kizza will grill you as well. We might put you on the spit, so to speak.
Oh, shit.
To continue the metaphor, get your mind out of the gutter.
Sorry, my bad.
It's mate. Let's get started. You've been on Tinder, yeah? And let's start by saying you're in a committed relationship now.
I am in a committed relationship.
Was that a Tinder relationship? Or was that something else?
No, it wasn't.
Oh,
something else.
So you relied on what? Personality.
Hi, I'm James.
Personality and looks, which you lack a lot in both, just quietly.
I know. Exactly.
I think he's cute.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Thanks, Kieran.
Kids are out of nowhere.
That 50 later.
So you it wasn't a Tinder relationship, so that's fine. So that proves that Tinder wasn't for you. But so mate, how did you go on Tinder? How did you find it? What's your general sort of first impressions of Tinder? And did you have any luck? Did you have any failures? What was your general impressions?
Well, when I first went in there, obviously I was a bit of I didn't go on it sort of like straight away.
Okay.
So I had some other friends and stuff like that.
A late adopter.
I was.
Yep.
To be honest with you. So I had some other friends and things like that doing it first, and then they were getting some luck and whatnot, and so I thought I'd
sexist
jump
pigs.
On there, filled out my profile, all that kind of stuff, and I did generate some some dates and things out of it.
Some interest. You were going to say interest then, weren't you?
This is the businessman in him.
Had a few inspections. I did a couple of open homes, had a few inspections. Had some good numbers through, actually.
Exactly. There was quite a few contracts that were issued. So, being the vendor, I was pretty happy.
Good boy.
Very good.
Attaboy.
Wait, can I just interject?
Did you sell a few under the hammer, so to speak?
I did, yeah. There was, many listing presentations.
Wait, so getting back to the actual, before we go any further, when you're on Tinder, just get me up to speed with this. Swiping left is good or right? So if you got it in front of you, right is you're in.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, he doesn't remember.
Mate, it's been so long since I've been on there, but left was bad and right was good.
Yeah. Okay. Because I've got a mate who's he's on Tinder, and he just had a holiday where he was with some mates, and he referred to a move called power swiping. It was just on there like right.
That's the
equivalent. He's playing the numbers game there.
Yeah, there we go. Okay.
So what he's trying to do is he's just ticking yes to everyone.
Yep.
Okay.
So basically, just casting the net out there in the giant big ocean. Saying yes to everyone.
Big net.
Might drag a few whales up. Greenpeace would be fuming.
Okay, so you get on and right is good. Okay.
And Jimmy, what was your strategy around what photos you would put on, or did you sort of just go, oh, whatever, I just put a couple and you're like pretty me for me?
Much, mate. I think, to be honest with you, mate, I think in the end I did it at first, and then I think I had somebody else rejig it and fix it up.
Well, you outsourced it.
I've heard this.
Geez, right, what are you, Kanye? You're getting someone else to run your socials.
Not by choice.
This is a thing. I've had a mate.
It was more like, Jimmy, you're an idiot. That is not going to work. Let me fix it for you.
What? Model train collecting's fun.
Well, I've got a bit of a thought on girls who have these Tinder profiles. And as I said, I've never been on Tinder, but I know for a fact if a girl has a Tinder profile with a friend, it's not the hot one.
Oh, the photo.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Because she's put the hot friend on there to increase the odds.
Yeah.
It's the equivalent of throwing tyre shine on the car. but instantly, if she's a 6, a generous 6, and her friend's an 8,
that bumps her right up.
No, it doesn't. It makes the 8 look like a 9, and it makes the 6 look like a 3.
Oh, but their theory is that the hotter one brings them up to par.
Yeah, and it doesn't. And I think if they're getting messages going, oh, are you the one on the left or the right? You know you got a problem because they're after the hot one. You'd hope they want to have a foot fetish.
That's good.
So Jimmy, so you outsourced your photographs, and then did you find that your numbers increased?
Well, when I say outsource my photographs, it's not like I went and got a professional photographer.
You did. You got some headshots
changed
done,
my
didn't you?
photos. I went to a studio. Yeah.
We're all mates here. Come on, be honest.
Yeah. Like those little baby photos they get done. He's like curled up in the fetal position. He's got like a little, like a hollowed out watermelon on his head and stuff like that.
This is fun, Jimmy. This is corporate, Jimmy. This is weekend, Jimmy.
Weekend. Jimmy.
That's so funny. So okay, so you obviously had some luck here and there, but did you how did you go once you got your swipe right? Did you have like an opener? Did you have a standard opener, or would you just sort of ad lib it, freestyle, Eminem style, and just throw something out there depending on how you felt at the time?
Spitting lyrics.
Yeah, would you spit something out?
Mate, I was just the nice guy. See, there's different sort of strategies when you get to this part as well. So
okay.
I was just like nice guy.
Okay.
So there's the guy, the pig that's just real forward and just hard at it.
But when you say nice guy, when you say I was being the nice guy, that does mean you're probably a bit of a sleaze, to be honest. No, you know what my angle was, mate? I was the bloody nice guy.
Works every time.
3 or 4 dates, I was straight in there.
I played the real nice guy.
No, look, for people listening, which Jimmy, there is a fair few, just quietly. For the people listening, you are a nice guy. You're not a creep. I will defend one's honour there. But okay, so you'd be the nice guy. You would what would you throw at them? What's your favourite flower, and I'll make sure I get some before our date. Was it stuff like that?
Yeah, pretty well, mate. Yeah, you bang on there.
Yeah, nice.
No, not at all.
That's got to be the most awkward part.
I was more just like, hey, how you going, all that sort of stuff. I didn't there was other guys out there that, like you're sort of saying before, Kieran, that would just, almost just sling shit at them and treat them, treat them mean, keep them keen.
Okay,
it's
so don't sling shit. Okay, I'll cross that out. That'd be my number one strategy. hey, cross eyes over here.
Want a root? No, I can imagine. I can only envisage that would be the hardest part. Is okay, we've both swiped right. There's a match. Okay, what do I do?
Yeah, obviously there's something physical.
So you've liked the profile and the photo, and that I collect model trains.
Yeah,
big tick.
You just write. So which Jimmy did you like? Fun Jimmy, corporate Jimmy, weekend Jimmy, barbecue Jimmy,
casual but slightly serious Jimmy,
Rudy Jimmy.
I think I would struggle this bit. Just the initial kick off. Okay, like, hi, how you going? No, you idiot. That's not good enough.
Delete.
Like, you got to find. Have I got a funny pun?
Weird. Or... It's like they expected to. Like I said before, the whole treat them mean, keep them keen. Yeah, some girls love it. And it's like, wow, this guy's cheeky. He's probably like hot too. And then you go out and all that sort of stuff. Yep. And it's just like, wow, he's like a total asshole. I love him.
him.
Marry me.
So fast forward. You matched with a girl. You threw your best rhymes at her. She went, hey, he can rhyme orange, which is very hard. I'm going to go out with him. What was your next move? Would you pick him up? Would you meet him there? Like, what would you play? Where would you go? What would you do? And talk us through that.
Oh, mate, it sort of depends upon the person, I think. Sometimes they want to pick them up,
Yep.
Drive around and pick them up from the house or whatever. And then other times it's just like, look, I'll just meet you down the Veery.
Okay, what would you prefer? Would you prefer just to meet them somewhere so you didn't have to, drive them around?
in case you need a quick escape.
Yeah, exactly.
Just to clarify, Jimmy was doing Uber at the time.
Yeah, just swiping. You got to match 3 meters away. You're in the back seat.
Oh, fancy that.
Okay. Brilliant. So did you have some good dates? Like you had some good experiences with it?
In all honesty, not really, no.
Okay, why? Why? Was it
Tinder wasn't like for me. It was the whole sort of thing of, like any sort of girls that you go, oh yeah, this girl's like good looking and, it seems like a fit and all that sort of stuff. It's like, treat them mean, keep them keen. And that just like wasn't me. So in a sense, that wasn't like a fit for me. Once I sort of got out and could meet people and stuff like that, it was good. Was
it because like, it's essentially like the Candy Crush of the app world, and they just get addicted to swiping, and so it's like, well, okay, I've met this nice guy, I've met this nice girl, but I just want to see maybe what else is there, and I'm talking to these other people, and he's funny, and she's nice, and whatever.
And I just couldn't be bothered just talking backwards and forwards. Like you'd sit on this thing for ages, like texting, and then you've got like, there might be like a few people that you're texting or whatever.
Yep.
Trying to hook up a date or whatever, and then it's just like a management crisis. I'm like, nah, fuck this. It's too hard.
My business manager was going, this is a wrong decision. It's not time effective.
I was just like, nah, this is all too hard.
Yeah.
Well, do you want to go out or not?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Can we just meet up? I'd rather just like, I was just like really forward in the end. It
Yeah.
would be like, yeah, you did this and that. What's your interest? Yada, yada, yada. Okay, cool.
Did
No
that
worries. You wanna
work?
meet up sometime?
When you decided to go, like, I'm going to go, oh, fuck it, I'm going forward, did that tend to work? And they go, oh, he takes control. I like that.
Pull my hair.
Yeah, sometimes. Sometimes.
Yeah,
But not all the time. It's like they just want to keep on texting or whatever. And I'm just like,
because
nah,
it's a
I
bit
don't
of a
time for this.
game.
I
Yeah.
can see in that
It was like a
virtual
real
world.
game.
Yeah, people just they want to be seen or be known that they're on Tinder, but they don't actually want to pull the trigger and meet. They'd rather just have fake conversations in a virtual world, don't they? That's like a lot of
Yeah.
mates have said that sort of thing. Like, yeah, we got good banter and we chat back and forth, and then you want to meet? Oh, nah, like this is fine. They just want a whole lot of convos, sort of thing.
Attention.
Yeah, a
Just
little
want
bit
the
of attention.
attention.
Yeah. Did you find?
Exactly.
Would you clarify it as a younger man's game?
Oh, man, 100%.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure
Yeah.
older people have but if you're 18
Few
to
old
20,
boilers on there, was there?
I've heard that. I've heard that it's a bit of a young. Not anyone can be on it, but the whole way it works and the treat 'em mean, keep 'em keen, like, and the funny pun pickup lines and the abrasiveness. It seems it just suits the younger people.
I certainly wouldn't want to be picking a wife out of the bunch, that's for sure.
No.
No. It's all like, in that sense, yeah, it's all rubbish, I reckon.
Yeah.
In my experiences, I'm sure, like, you know, some people have, and I have known actually, some people that have actually had successful relationships out of there, and end up being married.
Yeah, now they're
So-
divorced, but, you know, whatever. So, mate, did you have... surely you had some bad experiences?
Yeah, I did have.
Perfect.
Like,
Let's share this.
I did have this one date where it was just like, it was funny because it was like, okay, like on the talking scenario and texting whatever, and
Yep.
then sort of got to meet the person, and it was just like, probably within, you know, when you sort of like first meet someone and it's like, yeah, this is not going to work.
Yeah, I know that. I don't even have to meet them. I just see them across the road and go, I don't even like you.
See ya.
See ya.
Yeah, then they call you. Did you turn up? I haven't seen it. Yeah, look, nah, I didn't turn up. Hey, I'm not into it.
No,
Thanks.
I would say,
See
yeah,
ya.
I turned up. Didn't we agree on such and such?
So that's a legit thing where you just go, look, I did turn up, wasn't for me, and people just ghost.
Jimmy would never do that.
Jimmy wouldn't, but that's the thing, isn't it?
Nah.
Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
People
right.
would for sure.
Yeah. Do you
Oh,
think,
yeah.
did that ever happen to you?
No, I didn't ever get ghosted. I only went on about maybe 3 or 4 dates
Okay. So,
from the thing.
So
because
tell
I
us-
got so, like I said before,
Just
I
got so sick
like
of it.
texting.
Yeah,
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 texting
yeah.
backwards and forwards. Like, nah, this is crap.
and you're a busy guy. Like, you don't have time to be, you know, constantly on the text backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. It's like, right, we're adults here. There's a physical connection, obviously, or a physical attraction, obviously, because we've swiped the correct way, which I've forgotten.
right.
Yep.
Right, we've swiped right. And, okay, so there's a physical thing, and it's a backwards and forwards. Hey, do you want to meet up? Yeah, let's meet up, rather than back. You know, obviously you don't have time. So talk us through this bad date, mate. What happened?
So I was sitting there just talking or whatever, and then it was just like there wasn't all that much in common. So
Okay.
then you get you're sitting there eating dinner, and it was just like long periods of silence.
And would you just go,
So
How's your dinner? How's your meal? Excellent, wonderful.
classic,
Yeah.
yeah. And all you can hear is the fork spearing through lettuce, dragging across the plate.
there's the
Yeah,
whole.
I'm
There's a
just-
few topics like that, isn't there? Weather, how's the meal, how's your day? Once you've done them all, it's like shit.
Maybe, Jimmy, you should have
Yeah.
just gone straight to like, so how many guys have you slept with?
Thank God Kevin isn't and can't be on Twitter. I mean Tinder, both actually.
Twinder. That's like the
Twinder.
the get yourself out there version. It's Twitter for singles. Twinder.
Yeah, right.
So how did that finish, mate? Like, because obviously you're both, you know, you're sitting there going, oh Jesus, who's this fruitcake?
This is what I would dread. This exact situation where it's not kind of working.
You feel trapped.
And I'm not one for small chit chat. That's I got a short fuse and I give up real quick. I'm like, no, this isn't. What am I
And you
doing?
know you're paying for the meal.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to pay for the meal and all that sort of stuff. You're like, oh, this is like, it's just like I'm just wasting my time.
Yep.
It's not working. I'm paying for this thing. I'm just donating money really
Yeah.
to this house.
I'm
Like,
getting
quite frankly, I
nothing
don't
out of
even
it.
wanna be here now.
You just look
I'm
across.
getting nothing from here.
Yeah, you just look across and go, I think you've had enough. I think I've had enough.
So how did you break? So what you just did the pleasantries?
So anyway,
and
Yeah, how did you break her heart, Lothario?
So we've got up, we've walked, we sort of like left the restaurant, we paid or whatever. We're sort of walking down the street. She's like, "Oh yeah, I'm parked over here," and I'm like, "Oh yeah," because I just in this sort of circumstance, I met her down there at the restaurant.
Okay, perfect.
So she's like, "Oh yeah, we've walked out," and she's like, "Oh, I parked over there." I'm like, "I'm parked over there."
Oh, good, because
anyway,
I parked the complete opposite way, and thank fuck.
I'm going directly opposite to you.
She's like, "Isn't that your car right behind me?"
Nope.
Nope.
Just
Sure
doing laps of the street. Is she gone yet?
No, he literally takes a taxi home because he doesn't want to get his own car.
Get a text, Kev, can you pick me up? I need to go get my car.
Yeah.
Oh, big night, mate. No, I'll explain later.
Yeah, talk about it later. Talk about it later on your podcast in 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, mate. Keep going.
So anyway, I've lent in to like give her a kiss.
Okay, so you
And
still
then
went the
she's-
kiss.
Yeah, look, I was being polite.
Oh, okay.
You're doing her a favour.
I
slept with her because I felt she needed the pick me up.
We told you he's a good guy.
What a great guy, hey. What a great. Yeah, she just seemed really down, so I just thought, I'll throw down.
What a guy.
So you went in for the pash. Was it a pash or just a kiss
No,
on
it
the
wasn't a
cheek?
pash. I just went for the kiss of the cheek.
Okay.
Anyway,
Did she think it was a
between the-
pash?
in this couple of second sort of period, it's gotten awkward, and she sort of like stalled, sort of thing.
Yep.
So then I've stalled.
Oh,
I didn't
no.
sort of get all the way to. I didn't sort of always get into the cheek.
Yep.
She sort of like half put her hand down
To shake your hand.
so to shake my hand, and then I've sort of half shaken it, half given her a high five,
Yes.
And then kissed her on the elbow.
and then I was just like, we kind of just sort of stood there, and I was like, okay, see you later, bye.
Oh, did you both laugh about that, or you just went, "Oh, I just"?
It was so fucking awkward.
It was
like-
mutual
I was like-
hatred.
I was staring at her like almost like a deer in headlights, and just thinking, what the fuck was that?
That's so funny.
And then I was just like, deer in headlights, eyebrows raised, and I was just like, okay, have a great night, bye.
Gee, holy man.
So what's the follow up to that? That's happened, and then was there just like
Delete.
radio silence delete, or was there like, oh, thanks for last night, or was it
No,
just
nothing.
yeah, right?
Nothing. Just, yep,
Yeah,
falling
gone.
off the edge of the earth.
Have you ever seen that girl, lady, person before? And since?
Thankfully, never saw her again.
Oh, thank goodness.
Well, we have her on the other line.
Yeah. Oh, that's so funny. So, okay, so that was probably one of your worst experiences, but obviously, so you got off it. You decided, ugh, I'm out of here. This is not for me.
Yeah.
You decided to be a
And
human.
after that, I was just like, nah, this is crap.
And you joined the church.
Yeah. Then I went to the Church of Latter-day Saints and everything.
That a
was better.
boy. Yeah, you found God. So, do you think it's still do you think it's changed a lot since you were on it? Like, it's just pretty much it's just a fuck book now.
I reckon.
Yeah.
Because when I sort of got on there, it was sort of like the new sort of thing.
Yeah.
For like people to sort of do, because people had been using like I think like other apps and websites and stuff like that, where it was just like it's just like a fuck fest on there.
Yeah, sure.
You're going on there to hook up with people, and you're going to you're contacting them and going out for the purpose of going out for a route.
Yeah. So what did you do after that? Did you go into the back of the trading post and single guy looking for a nice girl, social drinker, non-smoker,
That's right, mate.
GSOH,
Straight to-
good sense of humour.
Straight to the classifieds.
Yeah.
Oh, that's like the ones in the back of the paper, you know,
That's
just
right.
before the sport and the
Yeah,
training post.
yeah. That's right.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Oil massage will come to you, Jimmy. Get out of it, mate. You're not finding a wife amongst that mob. What, mate? She wants me to bring a family over as well. Oh, that's so funny. But now, mate, you're in a happy, committed relationship. Love of your life.
I am.
And was that just a natural thing, like friend of a friend type deal?
Sort of.
Yeah, right. So a bit more organic
like-
than just texting.
It was way more organic, mate. I met my partner, so I was working with her.
Your partner, what's his name?
Craig.
Craig. Yeah, nice.
Nice.
He does spin class on weekends. Yeah, no, you met her.
Yeah, through work, because I'm a
Yep.
workaholic and I'm working all the time.
Yep.
Like met her through work, so organically that way. Yeah, friends at first, got on
Nice.
really well, and yeah,
Pen in
One thing
Company
led to
Inc.,
another.
some say.
It's all cleared by HR. It's all
Yeah,
good.
yeah. HR was like, oh, we don't encourage it, but we will look the other way.
No, that's how I met my partner as well, through work. And then they built a wall, as we discussed last
Yeah,
week, to divide us.
they tried to trump him, and they tried to build a wall because they were too busy
an actual
talking.
wall, so they divided the sections and we couldn't talk.
Yep. It was a real Romeo Juliet moment. They built it with a fish tank actually, and they'd look through it.
Hey, I die in the end, don't I?
Isn't that Titanic? Same actor.
Same. Oh, Leo's copped it back.
Oh, that's so funny. Because Jimmy, I know. Look, it doesn't surprise me that you met your lovely partner at work, because when I was a single man and you're a single man, we lived together, and
We did.
we used to go out and have a few drinky poos, and every night, like every time before we go out, we'd always go, oh, we're going to go meet some chicks. Yeah, we're going to get lucky
some
tonight.
birds.
In the end, we'd just go down, get half pissed, talk absolute nonsense. We might talk to girls, but in the end, they just walk away going, oh, these two blokes are off their heads.
Yeah.
I don't understand
Mate,
what
you-
they're saying.
Mate, the amount of times that we would go out, yeah, exactly as you said, sit and go out for a beer and then just get off on some tangent,
Yep.
some tangent conversation. The girls that we're trying to pick up have absolutely no idea what we're talking about.
Yep.
Gone down an Anchorman reference rabbit hole,
Yeah,
and they're
yeah.
like, oh, we're out of here. See
Yeah.
yous.
Yeah. And we're like,
Pretty much.
squares.
Squares.
Didn't want you anyway. No, well, thank you, mate. We definitely appreciate your time. I know you're a busy man, and you're probably the ball and chain's probably hanging out over the balcony, wondering what the hell you're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
No, good on you, legend. We'll chat to you.
No worries, guys. Appreciate it.
Catch you, mate.
Bye,
See ya.
James.
Bye.
What a wonderful guest, Kizza.
He's lovely, wasn't
Hey,
he?
what a good boy. Nice to hear that he's gone through the Tinder wash,
Yeah.
coming out the other side.
It spat him out, and look how happy he is.
He's a happy boy. He's an absolutely happy boy. We've only come to the end of another one, Kizza.
Mm-hmm.
That was good. It was nice to hear from Jimmy. I know we've talked to him a few times.
Yeah, I've been wondering about that whole world.
Yeah.
It's good he can clarify it.
I've got, even after hearing him talk about that, I've still just got no interest in it. It makes me
Yeah.
just be so happy that I'm married with kids.
It does a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah.
MSN and MySpace was enough.
That was the peak of it, I think. I think that was absolutely the peak of the whole experience for everyone involved. But no, thanks, guys. As I said before, I'm going to keep saying it, and you're probably going to get sick of it. Give us a review. 5 stars or fuck off.
Just do it and we won't complain.
Just do it. We won't complain. Give us a review. Jump on iTunes. More clips over at our YouTube. Subscribe there.
I tried to get my mum to give us 5 stars. Then I had to split.
All she can do is high fives, mate. That's it.
I tried to explain, and then I had to explain what a podcast was, then what iTunes
5
was.
stars.
And then
What
an Apple.
constellation is this in?
It was not too far off that, actually.
No, it's too funny, mate. Have you got anything you want to tell the wonderful listeners?
No.
Any secrets that we want to get off your chest?
Oh, there was this one. Oh, no.
Okay.
Oh, hang on.
Yeah, back in boarding school. Oh, no, that's fine.
Far. Oh, no, I won't say far. Next. End it.
Thanks, everyone. We shall see you all next week.
Bye.
See ya.